On the Sports Daily, it's time to introduce the 1985 Brownlow medalist from the Footscray Football Club at Brad Hardie. This segment is proudly presented by Retrovision, Loans 123 and Ross's Auctioneers and Valuers. Introducing the boy from Hilton, the AFL guru, Brad Hardie.
Good morning to you, Bradley.
Very good morning, Diggers. Good morning, TC. Good to be with you, boys. Yeah, I can help you on my show on Saturday, Diggers. We had Johnny Deeble, the former Australian baseball coach who led us to an Olympic silver medalist. He is now one of the chief recruiters for the LA Dodgers, TC. And he was also he was part of that Red Sox when they busted that Bambino, the curse of the Bambino, as you said. Diggers, Deeps has got 6 rings already, looking for a 7th. They give them to all of the participants, plus the recruiters and all of that sort of stuff. So they're worth a bit of money too. That I think he said the curse of the Bambino ring buster is worth about $200,000 each. So that's not bad, is it? So good luck to him. And he just managed to cobble up a little bit with his mates. They got 5% of a horse called El Rifa, running around in the Melbourne Cup next week. So good luck to Deeps and those boys. Not bad, eh?
No, not bad at all. And, of course, we're about to get underway in the NFL Sunday night football, Diggers. You like overs in that game?
I do. I think that game will go overs. Aaron Rodgers looked like he recaptured some of his best form recently. So that was a high-scoring affair against Cincy, I think it was.
Yeah, boys, we've got a lot to talk about, but I just want to say I'm probably in the minority, so don't be frightened. Speak up, and I'm sure you might get a little bit of traffic on the Retrovision SMS line. I'm really shattered that the Cox Plate, it's probably the last we'll see of the proper ones, I reckon. I don't have any problem with creature comforts, Diggers. I'm all for getting new ablution box seating, grandstands, etc. But I'm really, really miffed, to be brutally honest, TC, that they're ripping up the Cox Plate course, the track itself. I mean, because it's a unique shape. You've been there many times, Diggers. It continues to turn. You go down the back, then all of a sudden they take off at the school. Then they come around the corner and they come up the straight. And, it's been a unique race. It's an amphitheatre as it was. So I don't mind, as I say, refurbishing the stands, etc. But, what about some of the folklores we've had? Taking off at the 1,000, Bone Crusher versus our Waverley Star. Kingston Town can't win, but he did. The Valley Rumbles with Might and Power, Sunline, Via Sistina, Winks, So You Think, multiple winners. Don't forget the Fighting Tiger, who beat Sunline and Viscount in that with our man Diola aboard. You're not going to get that again. It's not the new grandstands or the residential that they're building on so you can look over the city. It's the bloody track. It's a ripper. It's the new straight's going to be twice as long. It's not going to have those little isms. I don't know what you boys think, but I'm sort of devastated a little bit. I get it. Progress stands still for no one, but they should have kept the course as far as I'm concerned.
So you're saying, Brad, because they're changing the dimensions of the track, we're no longer going to see a Great Cox Plate?
I'm worried. I am worried. Look, there'll be new stars. We know that, Diggers. There'll be, but it won't be the same, will it? I just don't feel as though it's the same. That was the uniqueness of it. I mean, it's like ground rationalisation, isn't it, in AFL? You just lose a bit of fabric of the racing industry, and if it's not broken, don't fix it. In fact, if you could, reconfigure the housing, reconfigure the stands, all of that sort of stuff. But, maybe, and bring the bloody trots back to Moonee Valley and get them out of Melton, because no one goes.
I think it just highlights the fact that a lot of these race clubs, Brad, they're sort of struggling to survive and keep their money afloat. Therefore, they need to bring in new things. And Moonee Valley, I think they're putting footy fields in the middle. I think there's soccer fields going in the middle. There's infield activities. I think that's what you need to do with the land, especially where it is in Melbourne. Moonee Valley, it's a perfect spot.
Could still do that. And there's no problem with that. We know there's a tunnel that goes underneath to get you inside the course and park in the middle of the ground. That's all still there. I don't have a problem with that, but I just feel we're going to lose. I mean, this is an industry over here, boys, who won't move anything in their spring carnival, will they, Diggers? I mean, oh no, we can't do that. The rich history of this race or that race, they won't do that. but they'll go and do, sort of cosmetic things like what they're going to do. And they're going to spend a shed load of money, TC, to fix it up. Maybe money they don't even have. There you go.
Yeah, look, I'll be in the opposite end of the room, Brad, with you on this one, but that's okay. That's fine. I think everything needs to be upgraded along the way, and Moonee Valley with its facilities and the stray.
No problem with the facilities.
No, and the track.
No
I think we're going to see a fairer track. I think that's what we want. I think there's a lot of horses there, and/or owners, punters, and you look at Moonee Valley and you go, from where we've drawn.
It'd be interesting to see the turnover figures if it goes up with a new track, because if it is, like we say, fairer, I'll use quotation marks, whether or not people are happier to bet there than they are at the moment.
But again, the uniqueness of it, this is the premier race in Australia, bar none. Now, I know the Melbourne Cup captures even the non-racing fan at the time. The Everest is building. This is the premier race for me. It's the Weight for Age Championship of Australasia. We've had Romantic Warrior. We've had all these brilliant horses come to Australia to try and some win. But generally the best horse wins anyway, doesn't it? I mean, I don't think we could argue.
But does that change, Brad? Does that change? We can't say definitively now that that's not going to change in 27.
Yeah, well, I think the best horses have to adapt. I mean, you saw that with Via Sistina the other day. We spoke to racetrack Ralphie yesterday. She ran 14 lengths quicker than she did last start in the run. So that's they can adapt. I mean, he took off a long way out, didn't he? You thought, oh, dearie me. And she was in trouble on the corner. She looked like she was in trouble. Buckaroo had a cold. Treasure of the Moment was kicking on. But eventually, just when it got push come to shove, she became, and great call by Matty Hill too, by the way, because I thought she was done 50 metres out TC. I don't know what you thought, Diggers, but he called it. He said, she's fighting. And I'm going, hang on, you sure? Anyway, and he was right. And I was happy to be wrong because I was with her, and I think most of the punters were. So it wasn't a good day for the bookies, I'm sure.
No, exactly right. Ended of the day with a couple of short price favourites getting over the line there at Moonee Valley, and then we lost all the facilities there at Moonee Valley as well. We lost the pop plants, we lost the running rail,
mate.
Lost some turf.
Can you tell me? Can you tell? I don't mind that. Can you tell me what they were doing, please, TC? How are you going to put the running rail in the taxi or the Uber? Where were you going to take it?
You'd have to catch the tram home. One bloke at the end, one bloke at the start.
People are strange, aren't they? Pension pop plants were probably worth $4 at Bunnings. Seriously. Anyway, good on them.
Yeah, exactly. What else is bubbling, Brad?
Oh, look, I just want to give a shout-out to the King is now the Queen, Alana King. What about her effort on the weekend? That was unbelievable what she did with her bowling. She just absolutely mesmerised the South Africans. 7 for 18. It was brilliant. 7 overs, 2 maidens, 3 were caught, 4 were bowled. And that's the most by a female in ODIs in Australian history, which is fantastic. She just nudged out Elise Perry and Shelley Niski, 7 for 22 and 7 for 24, each of 2. But I had to say that was the 4th in that platform of all time, Diggers, and I thought, what the? How does that work out? I said, that it doesn't get much better than that, does it? But anyway, it's true. And but the first 3 girls, TC, were games who were names of nondescript cricketers, to be brutally honest. I think there was one there. I think it was. I just can't find it. I had it there before, but she took had 9 overs and got 7 for 4 or something like that against Denmark or something like that, So anyway, but well done to Alana King. How good's she going, Diggers? She's becoming like the Shane Warne of female cricket.
Yeah, terrific return. Absolutely terrific return. And that Australian side, they just continue to tick along at a ridiculously good clip and have done for as long as you can remember. There's no getting away from that.
Yeah, I've just found it for you, boys. It was a Pakistani female, Sajida Shah. She took 7 for 4 TC off 8 overs against Japan.
7 for 4 against Japan. You'd get a game there, Diggers, for Japan.
No, I'm not. I'm not Japanese.
How
can I get a game for Japan if I'm not from Japan?
The soccer and the basketball.
You just born in Japan. My parents aren't Japanese.
You just
How
dominate
can I get a
your
game?
country these days.
Mozambique. Digby.
No, you wouldn't get a game for them.
Yeah. Wax on, wax off, Digby.
Yeah, anyway. Now, Brad, The draft, there's a lot of talk about it, Dersma and the like. How good is this kid?
Well, he's a pretty good athlete by the look of it, but I'm a little bit reticent. I'm disappointed for the kids because I reckon they're being stereotyped, to be brutally honest. I think they always say it's a shallow draft, it's this, it's that. But as we said last week, I think we touched on it, that there was a half a dozen players for Geelong and Brisbane who came through rookie-listed drafts, who played really, really well. They're playing in the grand final, for God's sake. You find these diamonds in the rough, don't you? If you look hard enough. Yeah, there's no doubt Dersman's on the tip of everybody's lips, and I think that West Coast will be certainly challenged by, I think, Essendon. I think they'll look to try and get up to pick 2 if they can, and that might mean giving up pick 5 and another first round of the West Coast to satisfy them, or maybe something else. We'll see, because I think they're pretty keen on him as well. So if West Coast don't happen to pick him, they may well. But if they don't happen to pick him, I'm sure Essendon want to be there. So it's another opportunity for the West Coast. Because my understanding, as I said last week, I think, TC, that I don't think they're going to use all of their picks in the national draft, the West Coast Eagles. I think they're reserving a few for the following drafts, the rookie, and also clearly they got extra picks there, and the pre-season train-on draft. So, yeah, I think they're looking to try and do a bit of both, get something for the future and something for today, with players that we spoke about last week, Schoenberg, those type of players to train McRae to train on with them. But look, there's a few out there. There's a kid called Dyson Sharp from South Australia, who's a mid. Played a bit of senior footy last year there. He's well fancied. Cooper Duff Tyler. And he's a tall forward, but I think the Eagles have probably got enough of them. He comes from the Calder Cannons. Dersman we spoke about. And there's another kid from the Geelong Falcons called Josh Lindsay. He's a halfback flanker, left footer, and got a bit of turn of speed. So I think from a West Coast point of view, don't write him off, because most clubs want that type of player now, Diggers, don't they? The Wanganeen Millerer, the Jordan Clarks type. That's what they want, and West Coast don't really have that, to be brutally honest. I'm sure they don't have it. So, yeah, they're the type of players they're talking about, maybe in line to come across to as the first pick for West Coast. We'll wait and see.
Essendon, the only ones rumbling around moving up or down the draft order. There doesn't seem to be too much news around that. Well,
they're the only ones, I believe, who've got the goods. I think, what have they got, Diggers? They got 5, 6. There's a few in the late teens, early 20s. I mean, no one else has got that to trade. And West Coast, their strategy is, they've got Starcevic, they've got Devon Robinson, got Young, looking at a few more, I'm sure, get a few of these train-on players and then go into the draft. So if it is, generally the first 20 or so are pretty good, aren't they? It doesn't matter what year it is. And there's some gems in the rough, as we say, after that. So West Coast want to make sure they're in the first round, because I think those back-end ones won't mean a thing to them, because they probably, as I say, I don't think they'll be using them.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah. Look, I think what West Coast does is going to set them up for the future, but would you be reticent to split them? What do you do, Brad? If you're West Coast, what do you think they should do? What would you do?
Well, I'd take the best kid, which is Dersma.
Yeah. And
then I'd split 2. And if I could get 2 more inside first round picks, it might be 5. And what's Essendon's next one, Diggers? I'm not even sure. I'll have a look while we're chatting. But I think, if you can get 3 for 2, 3's better than 2. And it's not always guaranteed either. We know that. I mean, there's been a lot of top 10 picks who don't graduate to where we would hope or expect them to do that. So I think you're better off having a little bit of insurance. So clearly, 3 is better than 2. So I'd certainly be thinking about, splitting the pick 2 for 2 other first round draft choices if you want to stay in that regard.
All right, so at the moment we've got West Coast, Richmond, and then Essendon 5 and 6, and then Essendon come back into the draft at 21 at this stage. So
all right,
they're not going to give up 5 and 6 for 2, are they?
No, they won't, but they might give up 5 and 21. What's West Coast? They got
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
And then 13.
13. And then what's after that? Maybe one more.
Yes, they have 34. 34
yeah, well, 34
41.
34 might become 21. So, as I say, if they want to go that way, I think they do. I think they want to have 3 or 4 picks. So, but it's whilst it doesn't sound enticing, I mean, 21's still good, isn't it, Diggers? I mean, it's not. You generally can find something, in that first round. So that's what they'll be contemplating for sure. Whether they do it or not remains to be seen. But yeah, it'd be worth considering strongly for sure.
Is Banfield likely to be bid on early, or they'll be able to pick him up late in the draft?
I think they'll be able to get him. I think under the new policy. That'll be good.
I don't think he's going to go early.
Yep.
I think they're spruiking that they might have a crack at the Carlton kid, Peter Dean's kid, isn't it? I think they're talking about that because there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's been the argument all along, where clubs have just been sitting on their hands rather than challenging for an Ashcroft or whatever it may be and making that club pay. But so that I think that's more likely the method behind their madness. Should put one over the bow, make Carlton work. So amongst other things, and then you don't know what, because it can scramble things, can't it? As I said, Diggers, you've been in it as long as I have. The top 30 TC are pretty much the same names, it's just a different order of preference. So if you can put a cat amongst the pigeons, so to speak, by putting somebody out, who knows? You rattle the cage and something might fall your way.
Anything else, Brad, before we let you go?
No. I just enjoyed the weekend's racing. I thought it was outstanding. I thought you boys do. And I just wonder, Diggers, who did you play junior footy for?
Who did I play?
Or cricket?
Oh, I played junior footy. Or it was countries.
Far back we go.
Oh, good, yeah.
Yeah, alongside a few, including one Lee Walker, who was, surprise, somewhat of a dominant force in underage football. he used to grab the footy out of the ruck and under 12s, have a bounce and kick a goal, go back and do it again. It was ridiculous.
TC might be able to post it on the socials. I sent him a pic. I said there's something that Diggers and Reece Walsh have got in common. Reece Walsh, of course, made an outstanding debut for the Kangaroos on the weekend, scoring 2 tries and stopping 2 tries.
Yeah.
And like you, Diggers, playing for countries in your debut and you were best on ground, and
the budgies.
You went around the ground taking selfies with a box brownie in your budgie smuggers. What about Reece Walsh? Who does that?
Well, you know who does it?
That's like Michael Hutchins.
You know who does it? Reece Walsh. And
Reece Walsh.
Who can only do it? Reece Walsh.
Reece Walsh.
You're not built similar?
Box office, sorry.
You built similar to Reece Walsh?
Not at that age.
I sent TC the photo, Diggers, so you might be able to put that up on socials. And
it's a great
just imagine
photo.
Digby doing this. It's a ripper, isn't it?
I know he's caused some grief for NRL hierarchy and and I dare say he will again. He's been caught with, possession of cocaine. He's done some things that he shouldn't have done. But the young man is going to be the face of the league for a long time. And he's engaging. He's got a bit of rat bag in him, but gee whiz, he's a star, a proper star.
He's good for rugby, isn't he? And you think about it, and he had drinking water out of his own toilet, or a new toilet anyway.
He's
that's the sort of
put
thing.
his hand up to play in Vegas next year, you think?
Well, I think he needed. I think he needed, in all due respect, I think he might have needed to get some permission to travel abroad because of some of the.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he did.
Because of the possession charge and all of that. Yeah.
And again, push ahead Pete's going on with the. Can you imagine 18 hours of? We love rugby. I don't mind. I love the game, but I don't think I could watch 18 hours in a row. Could you?
Oh yeah, I could. You give me good rugby
18
league.
hours?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, good rugby league's great.
18. Yeah, I agree, but 18 hours of it in a row, there's going to be some flat spots somewhere. I'm sure of that. I'm sure. Anyway, we're here for Morts. He's a ripper. 17 stores. Got to be one near you. Group 1 Morts. The Nude Nut, 1-800-100-100. He can do things the banks can't. We keep reminding people of that. And Frankie Lee at Ross's Auction, East Statewide as well. Boys, he's a champion. So I'll look forward to chatting to you tomorrow.
Absolutely. There's Brad Hardie, the 1985 Brownlow medalist. Winners and losers tomorrow with Brad.
Brad Hardie is proudly presented by Retrovision, Loans 123, and Ross's Auctioneers and Valuers. Retrovision, lowest price guaranteed. RAC members save 5%. Loans 123 for all your loan needs. Call Steve Sell on 1800 100 100. Ross's Auctioneers and Valuers, the leading auctioneering firm in WA.